Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep into, well, one of pop culture's biggest rivalries, isn't it? Optimus Prime versus Megatron.
Absolutely. It's defined the whole Transformers universe for decades.
And today we're looking at Transformers 1. It's this fresh CG animated take on how that all started, the very beginning of that huge conflict.
Yeah, the genesis.
So our mission really is to sort of get past what you might think you know. We want to uncover the core stuff, the story, the characters, the world they're building.
It's all about friendship, betrayal, the foundations of Cybertron itself. It gets pretty deep.
What I find really interesting about this deep dive is how Transformers 1 kind of reframes that whole relationship.
Right. It takes us way back. Before the war. Before Optimus Prime was Optimus Prime and Megatron was Megatron. Or just Orion Pax and D16.
Just minors.
Exactly. So it's not just wall-to-wall action, though there is action. It's really trying to be a character study. How could these two, who started out so close, end up as, mortal enemies?
Okay, so to really get that, we need to picture Cybertron differently. Not the usual war zone. This is Cybertron before. A pretty rigid society, right? Under the surface. The story kicks off in Iacon, this underground city. What's the immediate vibe?
The film throws you right into this core conflict, the societal division. You learn straight away that the miners, and that includes Orion and D16, they're born without transformation cogs.
Wow, okay, so they literally can't transform.
Exactly, and think about that in a world of Transformers not being able to transform. It's fundamental. It's not just a plot point. It's like this built-in class system, a metaphor for, systemic barriers, lack of opportunity.
That ability is basically denied to them by birth. It becomes this symbol of everything they don't have.
A symbol of their oppression, yeah. It shapes their whole existence down there.
That's a really strong starting point for a story. So you have this stark social divide. How does that push Orion Pax, the future Optimus, and D16, the future Megatron? What are they dreaming of?
Well, they're both Energon miners stuck in this situation, and they share this burning desire for something better, for their whole class, really.
And their first plan involves the matrix of leadership.
Right. They set out to find this lost matrix. Now, the matrix, it's always been this big deal in Transformers lore, hasn't it?
Yeah, the ultimate leadership artifact.
But here, it's more than just power. It represents this lost ideal, this hope for fixing their broken society. Finding it isn't just about getting the energon flowing again. It's about reclaiming something spiritual, something legitimate that's been deliberately hidden from them.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a quest with real stakes. So let's talk about the key players making this happen. Chris Hemsworth voices Orion Pax.
Right.
He's got that determination.
Yeah.
How do we see his leadership starting to, emerge?
Hemsworth gives Orion this real sincerity, He's genuinely driven by wanting justice, equality. His leadership isn't about being the toughest guy.
It's more idealistic.
Yeah, it's his belief that all Cybertronians matter, no matter where they come from. You see him constantly pushing back against the system, inspiring others. It's the seed of Optimus Prime right there.
But then you have D16, voiced by Brian Tyree Henry. A very different path, even though they start together. How does the film show that initial closeness and then the split?
That's what's so fascinating, I think. The film really tracks how they diverge. D16 starts with that same fire, that same vision for change. They're tight, best friends.
Right.
But as they uncover more corruption, more betrayal from the top, D16 gets really disillusioned. He starts thinking that the only way to really fix things is through power. Absolute power.
Okay, so that's where the crack starts to appear.
That's the core of it. It sets up their whole rivalry, not just as good versus evil, but as two fundamentally different ideas about how you fight back against oppression. It's complex.
It definitely sounds it. Who else is in this core group with them?
Well, you've got Alita 1, voiced by Scarlett Johansson. She's really capable, principled. She's right there with Orion, challenging things. Shows it's not just about the two main guys.
A team effort.
Totally. And then there's B-127, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key. You'll know him better as Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. So he's there from the start.
Yep. He's kind of the eccentric one, provides some laughs, but he's absolutely vital to the mission. Bit of a wild card, but essential.
Okay, so heroes need a villain. That's Sentinel Prime. John Hamm. How does he fit in? Is he the main source of the trouble?
Pretty much. Sentinel Prime is the leader of Iacon, and he's completely corrupt. Duplicitous. He's the embodiment of the system they're fighting against, his actions, his lies. They're the reason the miners are suffering. He is the establishment.
And on the other side, there's Alpha Trion, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Alpha Trion is like the wise old guide, one of the original primes. He holds the key to the truth, gives them crucial information, resources. He's like a beacon in all the deception.
Got it. So with all these characters lined up, the rebellion starts to bubble up. What's one of the first big moments that really tests them?
That would probably be the Iacon 5000 race. It's this big, high-stakes event.
And Orion and D16 enter it, even though they can't transform.
Exactly. That's the point. They enter this race despite being cogless to prove they're just as capable, just as worthy, and their performance. It's not just about winning. It's a huge act of defiance.
It boosts morale.
Massively. It gives the whole miner class this jolt of hope, reminds them they're not powerless. It definitely plants some seeds for what comes later.
Okay, things seem to escalate from there. They find a message from Alpha Trion. What happens next?
Yeah, this is where things get really intense. The discovery and betrayal part. Orion D16, Alita B127, they follow Alpha Trion's message, and it leads them to the surface of Cybertron.
Which they've probably never seen before.
Likely not. And up there, they find out the truth about Sentinel Prime. It's way worse than they thought. They learn what really happened to the Primes who came before Sentinel.
Oh.
Yeah, they realize the history they've been fed is basically a lie, designed to keep Sentinel in power. It just shatters everything they believed about their world.
A total game changer. And finding this truth, it also leads to them getting something they've always lacked.
Precisely. From these fallen primes they discover, they finally receive transformation cogs. They gain the ability to transform.
The very thing that defined their oppression.
Exactly. It's huge. It's not just getting a cool power. It's like they're reclaiming a part of themselves, their identity, their agency.
And arms with that and the truth.
They head back down to Iacon, ready to expose Sentinel, ignite a full-on rebellion. And well, that's what reshapes Cybertron forever and kicks off the whole Autobot-Decepticon war we know.
Wow. Okay, so beyond this really compelling story, let's touch quickly on the making of the film itself. It's CG animated sci-fi action, directed by Josh Cooley from Toy Story 4.
That's right, and written by Eric Pearson, Andrew Burr, and Gabriel Ferrari. So some serious animation and storytelling pedigree there.
And the look of it. You mentioned it's CG.
Yeah, Industrial Light and Magic did the animation. And they did something really interesting visually. They tried to blend the sort of blocky, classic look of the original Generation 1 Transformers.
The G1 look.
With this sleek, almost Art Deco design style. It gives Iacon this feel that's both futuristic, but also kind of old, maybe even a bit decadent. It subtly reinforces that class structure, that history. It's clever visual storytelling.
It sounds like it really enhances those core themes you mentioned, friendship, betrayal, how societies are structured. Which is interesting because you look at the reception. Critics seem to really like it, right? Praised the story, the animation, the voice acting.
Overwhelmingly positive, yeah. Critics got what it was trying to do.
But then the box office.
Yeah.
It underperformed. Made about $129 million, but the budget was somewhere between $75 and $147 million. So potentially didn't make its money back theatrically.
Yeah, that disconnect is significant, isn't it?
Why do you think that happened? If it was critically well received.
That's the million-dollar question. Maybe literally. It could be a few things. Maybe marketing an origin story within such a long-running franchise is tricky. Perhaps audiences just wanted the big live-action spectacle they're used to from the Bay films.
Or maybe the shift to full animation turned some people off.
Could be. But it doesn't take away from the fact that artistically, it seems to have really landed with critics and those who saw it and appreciated the depth. It definitely carves out its own space in the franchise.
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds like a really compelling addition overall. Good for longtime fans, maybe good for newcomers too. Because it gives you that deep dive into where these iconic characters came from.
And it mixes the action with these pretty big themes. Society, power, how friendships break under pressure.
Yeah, what Transformers 1 seems to really highlight isn't just, a simple good versus evil fight. It's this tragic split that comes from shared hardship.
Right. It makes you think about how even good intentions, the desire for justice, can twist into something else entirely, depending on the path you choose.
It really lays bare how two friends facing the same oppression can end up on completely opposite sides. One fighting for justice, the other maybe, succumbing to the lure of control to achieve it.
Exactly.
So, thinking about this deep dive,
Yeah.
what does this origin story suggest to you, maybe, about leadership, about that fine line between fighting the good fight and maybe wanting power a bit too much? Something for you, the listener, to chew on.